A very warm greetings to one and all present. Continuing with the scientific expedition, I feel privileged to welcome all the pedagogues, my fellow teachers, and friends on this warm, pleasant afternoon to attend exciting and demanding topics on the third day of the National Conference on Life Sciences. Prayer is an expansion of total faith in the power within and around us. When we pray with faith, we express it through our sincere thanks to Him. God knows our needs, limitations, and problems. He fulfills our desire if we call upon Him and acknowledge Him. To begin the session, we stand before Lord Almighty in humble prayer. Some problem. Problem. Just a minute for the technical glitch, I think.
सुमन आवाज नहीं आ रही है वॉइस इज नॉट कमिंग
Suman, you need to unmute. Yes.
Inverter. Ma'am, I'm audible.
Yes,
No.
you are audible. You are audible, but we are not getting sound from this.
Lights has gone और inverter पे लिया है मैंने. Now I'm trying.
कोई बात नहीं प्रार्थना करने
Start? Can I start?
Yes, yes.
Now it is okay. You can, yes, it is audible now.
Okay. Thank you.
ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी, ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। आती है आंधियाँ तो कर उनका खैर मकदम, आती है आंधियाँ तो कर उनका खैर मकदम, तूफान से ही तो लड़ने खुदा ने तुझे जड़ा है। ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा अग्नि में तप के सोना है और भी निखरता, अग्नि में तप के सोना है और भी निखरता, दुर्गम को पार करके हिमालय कोई चढ़ा के जाएगी रंग में आखिर तुम्हारी एक दिन, लाएगी रंग में आखिर तुम्हारी एक दिन, होगा विशाल तरवर वो बीज जो पड़ा है। ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है।
Suman, please record it.
Sir, actually, there is a power cut at my house. That's the problem today. Because of all that technical glitches, I'm really sorry, ma'am.
Please
It's
make
okay.
me
Just a
host
minute,
so
I'll
that I
start.
can record it.
Yes, sir. It is on inverter now. I don't know.
Please make me host. I'll transfer it to you.
Recording in progress.
It is started, Suman ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, please start.
Angelina Jolie quotes, "There is no greater pillar of stability than a strong, free, and educated woman." It's true. Mentally strong women do not watch others get bullied. Instead, they take actions. Mentally strong women advocate for themselves and for others by displaying good morality and values in their everyday lives. These statements suit today's guest, Dr. Sunita Vasist, our eminent guest today. She is the principal, Maheshwari Girls Public School, Jaipur. Under her able guidance, Maheshwari Girls Public School, Jaipur has been awarded Best School in the category by Education World from 5 consecutive years in the state of Rajasthan. She also extended her services in Arihant Public School, Bhilwara as a founder principal and in Central Academy School, Jaipur. She did PhD in botany from Ambius University, Ajmer in 1996. Recipient of Jagriti Sambal Award for tangible and significant assistance given for furtherance of underprivileged students looked after by Jagriti. She also conducted multiple faculty development programs, workshops, and trainings as CBSE resource person. Some Worth mentioning here, National Education Policy 2020, 21st Century Skills, Competency-Based Education, Learning Outcomes, Connection and Communicating with Parents, Spreading Happiness in School, Flipped Classroom, Gender Sensitivity, and many more for CBSE schools and for faculty members. She's confident, productive, she's optimistic and positive, caring, fair tackler, and not afraid to stand up for what she believes in. Ma'am, we are fortunate to have you amongst us. Now I'll halt my words and sorry for the delay. And I invite our beloved Sunita ma'am for the session, Promoting Mental Health in Schools. Ma'am, please.
Thank you so much. I'm really indebted that Madam Suman has given me an opportunity to come across Sharmaji, A.K. Sharmaji. It is a pleasure meeting you, sir. And it is indeed a pleasure addressing all the teachers from Bhavan's school. And I was always looking forward to utilize this pandemic condition as an opportunity, because this is giving me an opportunity to interact with people across world, rather I'll say, not only India. Pan India is a small word. We had been interacting with people across world. So though we consider this pandemic condition as a difficult situation, but this can be utilized as an opportunity. And I'm fortunate that today again, I've got an opportunity, and the person behind it is Madam Suman. She had been a great friend of mine, and I'm really thankful to Suman ma'am as well as A.K. Sharma sir that they have given me this wonderful platform to interact with the teachers and a very, very vibrant and important topic to discuss, that is promoting mental health. Now, why are we talking about mental health? Because, you know, if we get some injury, if there is an injury on our body, or if we are suffering from some ailment, there are visible symptoms of either if we are down with fever, the temperature can be measured. If we are suffering from cold, sneezing, coughing, headache, everything, these are the symptoms which are quite visible symptoms. But the topic which we are talking today is a topic which goes unnoticed. And that is why we need to talk a lot about this particular topic, promoting mental health. And why are we talking at a school level? Because school is one place that can be utilized as instrumental institution to spread awareness among the different stakeholders. This is a wonderful place to discuss, because teachers who are actually in close vicinity with the students, they become our brand ambassadors, they become our speakers, and they will spread this awareness among the students at a very fast level, which we as individual will be feeling at some point of time. Because when I'm addressing a group of 100 people, these 100 people will become a source of information to each and every student of the class they are entering. They are not entering the classes as class teachers only, they are also entering the classes as subject teachers. So when they are moving to their classes as subject teachers and they are addressing a gathering of students of say 40 or 45 students at a time, so one teacher is actually responsible for addressing this issue to at least 250 students at a length. So that is the reason we selected this particular topic. Now, what is meant by mental health? If I share my screen, please just let me know if it is visible to everyone. Is it visible? I hope it is visible to all.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right. Thank you so much. So promoting mental health is very important, because mental health is not something which is considered as an ailment by majority of the people. Rather, if I say mental health is well-being in or among the people, which is considered to be the own ability of an individual. It is basically when the individual starts realizing his or her own potential, her own ability. And secondly, they are able to cope up with the stress of life without giving up, because majority of the time it happens that the children are not able to do the needful, because though they are capable of doing it, but the stress takes a toll on their performance, and then they don't come up to the expectation of everybody. So if they are able to work productively and fruitfully, that means they are mentally stable, they are mentally healthy, right? Next is, ultimately, we are heading towards a society which should be fruitful. Each and every individual should be contributing to the society, so that we can at least look forward for a wonderful place to live. Now, before we go ahead, I would like you all to witness this next slide of mine. Let me know. I hope it is visible. It's audible. Things are audible.
Voice, I think. Ma'am, sound nahi aa raha hai shayad. It's not audible for me, I think.
Just give me a minute. I think there is
Yes, ma'am.
a problem
Yes,
with
ma'am.
the
Yes, ma'am.
sound.
Yes, ma'am.
If we go for sharing, let me check if why the audio is not there. The sound is not audible, I suppose. Let me give it a try once again.
Chirag.
Is it audible, Suman ma'am, now?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Hey.
Perfect.
Morning.
Very good.
I'm going to stop throwing these parties, I swear. How's it going with you?
It's good. Going good.
Love this bhai. मन नहीं करता यार ऑफिस जाने का, but seriously.
Look, I know you're not fine. I know something's bothering you, okay? You can talk
I'm
to
fine.
me.
You okay, no?
Bata, there's something going on.
कुछ भी नहीं है. ऐसा तो कुछ भी नहीं है. गाड़ी क्यों रोक रहा है?
Divya?
Yeah?
What are you not telling me?
Nothing?
What is it? Tomboys? Like, you know, manly girls. You're not a manly girl. Really.
क्या चल रहा है अंदर?
मुझे दिख रहा है. You can talk to me, Chirag. Chirag.
I think there is some problem with the thing. Let me see, where is the problem? Right. There is some problem. Anyways, I suppose the video has given you some clues about it. That there are certain instances where we pretend that things are all right, but things are actually not all right. People are facing some problem. And though if people are observant enough, it will be visible. But if people are not observant enough, if we go through day-to-day life, there are certain instances where things will not be visible to us. And we need to actually decode it. And then people don't want to accept that, yes, they are suffering from some problem. So there are certain observable changes which need to be noticed by each one of us, especially being a teacher in school. We can do this. If there is a feeling of sadness and that persists for more than 2 weeks, or if child follows an escape mechanism and you're not able to find out what is the possible reason for the escape, the symptoms of withdrawal, then the point of concern has to be taken. Severe mood swings are visible among the students. Again, that is becoming a problem. The children, they are not opening up. There are certain mood swings which children don't share with us, and that is the reason we need to actually observe and analyze them and then present them, discuss them with the authorities or the parents. Then we'll be able to find out the genuine problem. Otherwise, what will happen? This will start constraining your relationship with others. Next is intense worry or fear that gets on the way of daily activities. Overwhelming fear for no reason. Sometimes people are afraid. Sometimes children, now they have started coming to school, but still these children are so afraid that what will happen if I go to the class? What will happen if I'm not able to answer? So even if the teacher is not asking the question, the child is actually in state of fear. And this is not because the child is not understanding the thing. This is just because there is something going inside the child which we are not able to understand. Or the child is also not able to understand because they are too young for all this. Seriously trying to harm self. And this, if teachers are observant enough, it is very easily visible nowadays. The only thing is that we need to think beyond the classroom teaching and start becoming observant about the students. And fortunately, CBSE has come up with a line has to be drawn as far as strength of class is concerned. Because when we say the class strength should be 40, that means reasonably good time is given to each and every child, where we can be observant and we can observe these small things also, which normally go unnoticed when we are jam-packed or the classes are too big as far as strength is concerned. Being weight conscious, this actually happens mostly with girls, but now it has started happening with boys also. And when they become conscious about it, either they are too skinny or if they are too obese, and then they start thinking about it and then they start withdrawing themselves from the groups. They don't want to go and join the parties, or they don't want to go and join their peer group just because they consider that they are not physically fit. That is also a very important factor. Drastic shift in behavior or personality. This is nowadays very much visible post-pandemic, that is post-COVID. These conditions are quite visible. If we become observant, because now the schools are going to open, and you can see the changes in the behavior pattern. Children want to stay back at home rather than coming to school. Earlier were the times when the children were very excited to come out, and then they want to play, they want to interact, they want to chit chat. Now the situation has gone for a change. Parents as well as students, both of them, they want to restrict themselves to houses only. So these kind of changes will be very much visible in times to come. Difficulty in concentrating. When the child is not stable mentally, when the child is facing some problem, then how can we expect a child to concentrate on what we are teaching the child? So these are certain common observable changes which we need to be vigilant as far as our observation is concerned, because we are matured being. One best thing is that we are young at heart, but still we are matured. Age-wise, we are matured, and we are able to find out what can be the possible reasons why the child is behaving in such a way. Now, if we see any such thing happening, if we see anyone facing these kind of observable changes in our near vicinity, I don't say only as a teacher we should witness the students, or we should actually look forward for the students only. We If we see people also around, it can be a support staff, it can be your fellow colleagues, it can be any student, it can be any person in your near vicinity. The first responsibility of ours is to make the person comfortable and motivate that person to speak it loud, to say it loud that, yes, I am facing this problem, please help. And that will only be possible when we start talking to such people, when we give them a shoulder to rest on, to cry on, and then we can motivate them to say it loud. Now, when we are talking about all these things, why we are talking about health awareness in school is important, because for most of the people, mental health issues, they start arising at a very young age. And as per WHO, close to 20% of the students in your class, they are suffering from some kind of a mental ailment. 1 out of 5 students is definitely facing a problem, and this number has increased. Now you can say 1 out of every 3 students is facing some kind of anxiety disorders or mental problems or mental illness, which is not being noticed at home. And as teachers, we can notice it. Why? Because you can see the data depicted here, that 1 in 2 students develop mental illness by the age of 14. And that is why it is very important that we should start addressing this issue right at school age, because 8% of the youth is facing anxiety disorder. These all are the facts which are actually available, and we can actually see that these facts come up with supportive documents. Now, after pandemic condition, the suicidal tendencies is coming as a second important leading cause of death, and that too in a specific age bracket, that is 10 to 24 years of age. And we are witnessing it every now and then. When we are going through the news items, we witness that these suicidal tendencies have started increasing, and especially in school students. As teachers, we must have observed that children have become least interested in examination. They are going to show you the symptoms that they are fed up of everything. And this is not a story which we need to avoid, where we are not addressing the issues. We need to address these issues, because these issues, they are all studies which have been conducted and they are well documented. So this condition past 2 years has increased. So as teachers, when we are going to welcome these students back to class, you will see that there is a increase in the number of students who are facing such kind of problem, and the suicidal tendencies are going at a rise. So if you want to control, then we need to be more vigilant. The mental health problems, what can be the issues where they can lead to? Very importantly, first of all, when the child is not feeling like and is not comfortable in the school premises, it will tend to leave the school. So the rate of school dropouts is going to increase, and it is visible. I hope everybody is going to agree to my point that yes, the number of students dropping out of school has gone for a rise because children are not comfortable. Difficulty in learning is rising. This is a very grave issue, dear teachers. You need to address it. Very importantly, that during this pandemic condition, the children, they have lost their ability of reading. When they have lost their ability of reading, they are not able to write, because the expression is not coming up to the expectation of the student as well as the teachers. And when they're not getting a positive response from the teacher's side, they find it difficult to learn as well. Behavioral difficulties. You must have noticed, I suppose the schools opened offline in the month of April, and teachers must have noticed that children are no more much respectful. They don't pay respect to the teachers also. Disobedience, not listening to the teachers. These are all behavioral difficulties which each one of us are facing. So this is going to go for a further rise. So what is the key word? That we should not lose our patience. You need to be patient because you need to accept that these children, after sitting for 2 years at home without interacting and exchanging their energies with their friends and their peer group, they are coming to school, so they are actually frustrated. So you need to cope up, you need to bear with it, you need to bear with these children. Difficulties in performance is also very much visible because, as I told you, there is a difficulty in learning. For sure, there will be a difficulty as far as performance is concerned. And when the performance go down, they are questioned at home also. And when they are questioned at home, they don't feel it good. They feel, why everybody is focusing on me only? And then the withdrawal symptoms start. And when these withdrawal symptoms are very much visible to you, that is the time when we need to start thinking, what are the corrective measures? What can we do so that we can do away with this kind of situation where the students are falling prey to such kind of an ailments? So the difficulty in performance is also visible. And for this, you need to educate the parent also that don't expect some miracles to happen. कोई चमत्कार नहीं होगा कि आपका बच्चा 2 साल से there is a learning gap and you expect the child should be as good as the child was 2 years back. So you need to communicate on multiple facets. You need to communicate to the parents, you need to communicate to your authorities, you need to communicate to your fellow colleagues, and ultimately the center of all this should be a child, because ultimately it is the children for whom we are working. More truancy is there, more absenteeism is there. Why? Because children, they have started following escape mechanism. This must have been observed by majority of the teachers when the teachers were trying to give them some revision exercises, some thorough revisions so that the learning gap to some extent can be made over. The children, they were going home giving a negative feedback to the parents that school mein to kuch hota hi nahi hai, nobody is teaching in school. So there has to be a continuous interaction with the parent. As a teacher, you should interact with the parent if there is a continuous absenteeism, because this is going to go for a rise. If when the child comes to school, and as a teacher, when you are going to ask, why child you were not coming to school, they will give you any number of excuses that I was not well, I was bedridden, I was out of town. So there is a continuous interaction with the parent required in order to avoid this truancy. The absenteeism has to be stopped. School failure and alcohol and drug abuse. The failure rate is going higher, which we have witnessed. Everybody of us has witnessed the NAS results, that is the National Assessment Survey reports have been visible in all the newspapers, that it has drastically, the performance has drastically gone down in all type of schools. It is not only public school, it is not only government school, it is not rural or urban. Nothing has to play a significant role in that. It is basically, all in all, the performance is going down, and this is being observed by the government also by conducting national assessment survey in different schools, and most of the teachers are witness to it. So school need to take up the responsibility. You need to come up with some innovations, and we need to help each other, help the authorities, help the parents in early identification and interventions. Sometimes it happens that mental health promotion is considered to be the medical prerogative. It is not medical prerogative. It is the responsibility of each one of us, the stakeholders who are responsible for the development of children. So it is a joint responsibility, and this joint responsibility has to be taken up by schools as well. And in school, it is not the chair who's going to take the responsibility. It is the entire team who's going to take the responsibility, help us in early identification and intervention so that we can come out to some conclusion and the things can be taken care by each one of us. Now you need to identify the problem areas and educate parents as well as students as far as these early signs are concerned. What are the early symptoms? How can we come across the kind of ailment a child is going through or some mental problem a child is going through. The problem areas can be identified by the teachers. What are the problem areas? First, high level of absenteeism, which I've already talked about, because these children, they tend to miss the classes, and we as a teacher keep promoting them that please don't miss the classes, otherwise you're going to leave or you are going to break the connect between the previous topic and the present topic. So this absenteeism need to be checked. If there is a high level of absenteeism, the teacher and the parent need to be in touch with each other, and they need to be inquisitive about asking. As a parent, the parent should also ask why the child is avoiding to go to school. And at the same time, teachers should also be inquisitive why the child is avoiding coming to school from the parent side. So that when two of you are going to talk, definitely we will be coming at a conclusion. Students start getting poor grades. The high level of absenteeism, as I told you, will not be able to bridge the gap between two topics or three topics or four topics. And when there is a gap of say 1 week, definitely this kind of a gap will take time to fill in. And that results in deterioration of the grades. The children, they start getting poor grades. So these are the problem area. And if this is a constant feature, the parent and teacher should be in interaction with each other, and they should be finding out, they should be concluding why these kind of changes or why this kind of a deterioration is there. Repeated complaint of headache. When the children are not interacting, just consider of a situation when mentally we are too occupied. We are not able to conclude how to cope up. Definitely, they will be leading to some kind of an anxiety disorder also. And the children, they don't realize and they call it as headache. So if there is a repeated complaint of a child, the child wants to go to infirmary because the child is facing this problem. Ki, ma'am, I have headache, I want to go to the sick room or the infirmary. You need to, if it is a continuous feature, that calls for a reason. So you need to find out the reason. If that reason can be picked up well in time, the problems can be sorted out well in time. Losing interest. The children, they are not interested in any kind of work. There are children who, every child has some innate potential, some innate abilities, and they feel good when they're exploring their innate potential. And when they are not getting involved in those kind of innate potential of their own kinds, then again, the teacher need to take cognizance of it. Blaming. This I told you, that when the parent is going to ask the child, why you're not going to school, the child will say, kuch hota hi nahi class mein, hum baithe rehte sare din, koi teacher nahi aata. But I know, dear teachers, it is not true. Every teacher, when they are there for 7 hours in school, they cannot sit back in staff room and waste time. That means you people are going to the classes, but the children at the other end is saying there is no teaching going on. And when you are going to ask the student in the school premises that what happened, why your grades are not coming up to the mark, then they will start blaming the parent. I'm not getting the correct environment at home. So the blaming process, when it is a continuous blaming process, again, you should talk in detail with the parent and find out the reasons. Lying, the students, they start lying at this particular time because they actually don't have some concrete reason why their absenteeism, why they're absent, why their grades are not coming up to the expectation, why there is a learning gap. So when they don't have some concrete answer, they'll definitely start lying. Anger, outburst, and suffering from low motivation. This is visible. I, as a principal, can also see, so definitely even the teachers must be observing that children have become short-tempered. If they are not able to shout, if they are inside the school premises, they will not be able to shout on a teacher, so they'll start crying. They are actually suffering from some kind of problem which they are not sharing with you. So please lend your ears, please give them that space. I'll talk to you in further slides, how can we do that? Low self-esteem, worrying constantly because they are lying, they are blaming. At some point of time, they know that when parent and teachers are going to come face to face, they will be blamed or they will be caught. So there is a like reason for worrying constantly. Persistent sadness is there for 2 or more weeks. This I told you, a withdrawal symptom is visible. So we need to think about it. Now, what is the role of school? So the role of school is to develop effective school-based program for promotion of mental health and well-being. Even CBSE has come up with a manual. I have a sincere request to the teachers, as and when you get time, do read the manuals which have been issued by the CBSE, because it takes a long time to structure those manuals, those handbooks, and you will get perfect solutions there, because when a complete think tank is working on manuals, you cannot expect something which is of no use coming in those manuals. That means if you are reading a manual, that means you are actually exploring multiple brains altogether, because all those multiple brains have worked together and come up to conclusion which could be printed as a handbook. So please read these handbooks. So CBSE has come up with a handbook on mental health and well-being as well. And when I have shown these books to my own teachers who are physical education teachers, they said, my God, madam, we never even realized that these kind of activities also can be performed. So you can get clues. You need to be L3. That means you need to be lifelong learner. If you want to be a good and effective teacher, you need to be lifelong learner. And this is something which is required, because now the children have become all the more demanding. You cannot be acting as a sage on stage. You need to be guided by sight of the student, because Google Baba is having everything. If you are not going to give them information, they will search. But that personal connect, that exchange of energy, exchange of smiles, and your pat on back definitely will make a difference in a student's life. So you need to upgrade yourself, be a lifelong learner, and you will see the changes. Safe, positive environment is our responsibility. The children should feel safe. It should not happen that they are stressed out because of some human intervention inside the school premises, whether it is a support staff or some physical education teacher or some subject teachers. If there is some hesitation in interacting with the teachers, we need to bridge this gap. There are certain instances, suppose if it is a mathematics teacher, the children are afraid of, because everybody doesn't has a taste for mathematics, everybody will not have taste for science or social science. So everybody cannot be perfect. So there are certain subjects where the child is not comfortable, and then the distance keeps on increasing. The distance between teacher taught and keeps on, like there is a huge gap. So then the student, they don't feel themselves very comfortable. So you need to provide them with this secured environment inside the school premises. Primary prevention programs can be encouraged. You need to give them social time for holistic development. I have come across a number of videos. Those videos, they talk about establishing Khushi labs. I don't know how many of you are aware of happiness labs, Khushi labs. These are the labs where children, they are allowed to talk whatever they want, because, and sabse badi baat hai, you need to maintain the trust of the student. If the student have faith in you, if they are confining in you, you should never ever breach their trust. You need to make it a point, whatever a child is sharing with you in confidence, that you will not be passing it on. Please keep your words and don't share it with anyone till the child is comfortable, and till the child says, yes, now you can share. Please don't break the trust of child. Otherwise, next time the child will not come to you. So you need to give them certain place. And if possible, schools should appoint someone from some external agency who can come, who can sit with them, listen to their problems and communicate directly to the chair, so that the children are not afraid. Why they're not afraid? Because they know that person to whom they are confining in is not a part of school system. So they are not afraid. So these Khushi labs, or we call it as I don't remember the name, the Abhyas Pathshala, or we can also allow them to scribble on graffiti walls where there is an outburst of their feeling. Once they scribble it on the wall, they forget it and you get it painted again. Otherwise, what will happen? Their tabletops are going to become the graffiti wall. And once the session ends, you can visit the classes, read what all is written on the tabletops, and you will get to understand what is the child's psychology or what the child is feeling. And when the child is leaving that class, the entire outburst of their feeling is on those tables. So get those tables painted. Nothing to worry. This happens with everyone. So allow them to scribble on graffiti wall, allow them to go to happiness labs or happiness classes, allow them to express themselves. Even in your regular classes, you can allow them to express and you will see the changes. Even if the child is speaking something wrong, don't scold the child in public. Believe me, if you are admiring a child in public domain and scolding in private, you will, every time you will be the best teacher. So if you want them to give that space, if you can bear to give that space, you can give that space to those children. And believe me, you will see remarkable changes in children's personality. Identification and management program. You need to conduct certain PD classes or certain classes where we can call it as PD classes, but yes, through your interaction, you can dig out what all is going on in their mind and you can definitely work upon and find out that what can be the possible causes, what can be the possible reasons, and what can be the possible solutions to the problems these children are facing. Orientation for teachers, the way I'm thankful to Bhavans that they are organizing such wonderful sessions for the teachers, because this is very, very important. Because when we interact with each other, it is not me that I'm the speaker, I'll not learn anything from you. No, I always believe in learning because we are the teachers who are dealing with very young generation. So we are young at heart. When we are young at heart, we can always learn better. So we should be a lifelong learner. Such kind of orientation definitely someday will infuse an excitement and or we can say kind of inquisitiveness among the teachers, so that they will start interacting with each other. And one day when they are going to come across such children, they will definitely be able to identify that yes, this child is facing some problem, I should help out. And believe me, dear teachers, if you are able to sort out even 10 cases throughout your career, that will be an achievement to your account. This will give you a great satisfaction, because the kind of satisfaction we are working for is very like small. Our expectations are not big as teachers. So if we are doing it even for 10, 12 students in our entire career, these children will make you important throughout your life. They will make you realize that yes, you are important for them throughout their life. So give it a try. A whole school approach is very important. It is not only one teacher working. It has to be from tip to toe. Everyone have to be involved in this, right from chair to teachers to support staff. All the staff who are non-academic staff members, they can also be very instrumental, because number of students have different kind of potential, and these children definitely will be going to some or the other teacher for their solutions. Appointment of nurses and counselors is very important. Why this has gone for a rise, I'll talk to you in detail. Actually, I think I will be running out of time, so I'll be going a bit haste. But yes, CBSE has made it mandatory to have counselors and special educators in each school. But still I say, one counselor is not sufficient for a school. So my aim is that every teacher should become a counselor. And yes, we can become, because बच्चों की प्रॉब्लम बहुत छोटी होती है, हमारा maturity level बहुत बड़ा है, we are matured enough to handle this all. So I expect teachers to become counselors, because one counselor will not be able to help so many students simultaneously. Resilience building programs should be a regular feature of every school. Make mental health known to everyone. Let the children understand What will be the role of teacher? Now, teacher, I'm talking about you. What is the role of teacher? The role of teacher is in promoting mental health. Why? Because you are the one who are coming across these children, and you can be very, very instrumental as far as early detection is concerned. These early detection at the childhood, if you are capable of identifying, this problem can be treated very well. It can be addressed very well. And if we are addressing it well in time, for sure, I think we will be able to save these children from falling prey to different kind of escape mechanisms. Teaching socio-emotional skills such as emotion management. We as parents, we as teachers, keep promoting children to taste success, but we don't teach them how to face the failures. You need to teach them how to face the failures, how to cope up with the failures, how to tackle the failures, so that these children, they can come out as winners. So emotion management has to be taught by each and every teacher. Just tell them it is not essential that you should be successful every time. It is okay if you want to cry at your failure. There is no harm in crying. It is an outburst of a kind of emotion. So please teach them how to face the failures. Conflict management. You know, we have been living in an era, like I'm talking about my childhood. When I was a child, at that time, we were 5 brothers and sisters. We used to have fight at home, but we never involved our parents. There were certain instances we never involved our parents, because we knew that if we are going to go and complain it to the parents were bugged up and they'll give left and right to both of us. So we knew how to deal with our conflicts. But now the situation has changed. Now we have started living in a nuclear family. We don't have grandparents to share our problems. The parents are working, the parents are so overburdened with their work, they don't have time to talk to their children. And merely 1 or 2 kids at home. If we don't teach them this in school premises, where the hell will they learn? So it is very important. You need to tell them to manage their conflicts, because if the conflicts go unaddressed, this is going to increase the gap, and increasing the gap will never be a favorable thing to deal with. So you need to teach them how to manage the conflicts. Strengthen problem-solving skills. This has been constantly addressed by the CBSE also, that we need to develop that skills. These skills need to be inculcated among the students. So we need to teach them how to deal with these kind of problems. You need to make them capable of problem solving. Promote self-esteem. Normally, as teachers, when we comment on a particular student, we are actually hitting the self-esteem of a child. We need to motivate them. We need to promote that self-esteem. We need to teach them how to develop interpersonal relationship. We need to teach them how to develop. And what can be a better method than being a role model? You take initiative. Even if the child is dejected with you, you need to take a step forward and you need to tell the child, yes, I'm there. Okay, if I made a mistake. Okay, if you made a mistake. But you can always take first foot forward. You need to take an initiative. There is no harm. हम बड़े छोटे नहीं हो जाएंगे अगर बच्चों से आगे चला के हम बात करेंगे. This is very important, dear teachers. Sometimes you need to drop your egos and you need to put your best foot front. Try to remove the stigma attached to this mental health. There is a taboo. We need to remove this taboo. The children, they are scared of coming to the counselor because other children in the class, they keep commenting on it. Yes, ये बच्चा तो counselor के पास जा रहा है, इसको कुछ problem है क्या? So we, instead of child going to counselor, let the counselor come to class, address the entire group together and identify certain cases which a counselor is capable of, and then we can separately address the issues. So these are the small tidbits which we need to carry with our own selves, where we can like handle the situation in a different way, because we are matured again, I'm telling you. These children are not matured. So you are the one person who can be very instrumental in removing this taboo from the society. Life skill training is very important. जो हमारी तो घर पे हो जाया करती थी when we were young, because we had a joint family. We were 5 brothers and sisters, and everything was taught there only. Team spirit, compassion, coordination, and everything, creativity and complaints, and everything was done. But now, since these children, they are not at fault, we are at fault because we are believing in nuclear family. So we need to do the needful. Now, what are the possible solutions? Need to teach the adaptive pattern of behavior to these children. Don't expect miracles to happen. You need to be very patient. I think I'll be going a bit fast. Teach to practice gratitude. And again, I'm telling you, be a role model. When you start saying thank you to the teachers, thank you to the student, automatically the things will be reversing, coming back to us. And if sometimes it happens that children are passing by you and they'll not greet you, and once or twice if you observe, next time you can say, good morning, dear. And when you do it for the first time, next time the child is bound to greet you. So this is the way of teaching. Taking care of your physical health, exercising a lot, connecting with others, again, a possible solution, developing coping skills, developing a sense of meaning and purpose in life. Assertiveness training is very important. To teach your children easy way to de-stress. Think positive, because a smile will always be infectious. You will always get a smile in return of a smile. But if you're not going to smile, there is a possibility you may or may not get a smile. So smile, stay positive, counter negativity with affirmation about your abilities and self-worth. You say, yes, I can do it. Yes, I'm capable of doing it. And teach the same to the children also. This is going to rule out negativity. Next is laugh out loud. Humor is a potent stress reducer. So laugh and laugh, because that is going to soothe your mind and cut down on your stress. Pursue a hobby which is going to give you desired satisfaction, because it is going to definitely have a positive impact on one's well-being. It can be any form of hobby. It is drawing, painting, cooking, whatever. Exercise regularly, which is again a need of the hour. At least 30 to 40 minutes, you should exercise at least 5 days a week. Anyways, you can walk, you can talk, you can dance, you can do anything you feel like doing. But exercise, that is going to keep you in a positive frame of mind. So you can always talk about these easy ways to de-stress. And if you start practicing once for a while in between your classes, if you can talk of hobbies, you can talk of some positivity, definitely will have an impact on these children. The worst part about having a mental illness is people expect you to believe that you don't. Even if you think that you are going to keep yourself positive, people around you will make you realize. So your mental health is a priority. Your happiness is an essential ingredient. Your self-care is a necessity. I'm really thankful that you had been patient enough. I hope I'm well in time. I don't think I've crossed my...
No, ma'am, we have enough time.
You have enough.
We have time. You can continue if you want. Yes,
these are certain things which actually, Suman ma'am, I just want, why I talk about, I frequently talk about this topic even through the CBSE workshops, because I think that this particular agenda need to be addressed with utmost sincerity, because post-COVID, we have seen changes among children. We have seen number of, at least 2 of my students, they have not taken class 12th examination just because those children were not keeping well. Now, I don't know what has gone wrong. Why we were interacting with these children we could have done in a better way, but we were not able to do it. So this calls for a constant like kind of chasing to the teachers, because school is a place, again, as I have shown you, the fact says that the children at an age of 14 years, they are till 14 years of age, they are too prone to this kind of a mental illness, insecurities. If they like overpower the expression of a child, then it is going to become problematic through and through their life. So this need to be addressed well in time, and this can only be addressed when the teachers are trained properly, if they are able to identify. Because, you know, as teachers, we go to classes, we start teaching, barely we talk to the students. And even if the student is coming and following you, that ma'am, I have a problem, you have your second class lined up, you say we'll talk later, and then we are bound to forget. We are human beings. But if we can make it a point that any child, if comes to you and says that, ma'am, I have a problem to discuss, please give them some time that, yes, beta, I'm free in this period. Please do come to me in this particular period. Second thing, that whenever a child is confining in you for any kind of problem the child is facing, never ever break the trust of a child. Never ever discuss these things in staff rooms. Never ever say, ye bacha to aisa hi hai. Because when we as teachers are going to put a child in a structured frame, nobody on earth will be able to break that frame. So this is very important. The teachers need to find out ways and means. And as I was telling you, that frequently every teacher should go for some kind of counseling diplomas, so that these teachers, they at least get to understand. Sometimes it is knowingly and sometimes it is unknowingly, the things go unnoticed. Aisa nahi hai. I don't say that the teachers are not making an effort. Once for a while, if they are observing, they might address the issue, but they don't know the actual modus operandi to handle these kind of a situation. So they can, at least when they're going through these kind of trainings, they will at least get to understand that these are certain things where these children can be caught hold, and they can definitely get in conversation with the counselors and they can find a solution. Or if the thing or condition of a child is going beyond their control, they can always address it to, or they can always refer it to the counselors. And sometimes it happens, if the gravity of issue is too big, then they should take the chair in cognizance, the parents in cognizance, because together we can do it. This is my agenda. So I really feel very good when I address a group of teachers who are teaching these classes. And because I have seen a kind of changes in my own system. When we started this project, that we one-on-one marking we do, we start appointing mentors, and we started making observations, we could make certain changes. So this is all about, I hope I have come up to your expectation. Ma'am Rashi, if you can just mute your mic. Thank you so much. Is there anyone, if I have missed out something, I would request the teachers to share, so that at least even I'll be happy to learn from you all. And if A.K. Sharma sir has something to say, sir, it will be a pleasure if you can just have your say, so that even we can learn from you. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. This is true that it should be noticed initially, so that we can do something. And now the teacher, every teacher has to be a counselor also. Yes, that is the main thing. Yeah, sir is there, I think. Sir,
yes, sir is there.
Respected Sharma sir, may I request you to? Sir, are you there? Any amongst the attendees, any teacher wants to share something or ask something?
Anyone?
You're most welcome
Yeah, more than welcome, because
Yes, we are most welcome. If anyone wants to share anything on mental health.
this is
Because
a platform to interact with each other. It's not like me speaking and you listening.
No, you were
Yeah.
absolutely correct, ma'am, that now the time has totally changed.
Yes.
So we should not be, judgmental,
Right, right.
and we have to concentrate on the problems and needs, and admiring publicly, and telling him something.
Telling the weakness
Individually,
in
yeah,
private.
individually,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
it
That
makes
is
a
very
lot of
important.
difference.
Yes, Mamta ma'am,
yes,
you
yes,
have
Mamta.
something to say?
Yeah.
Namaskar, ma'am.
Namaskar.
Ma'am, thank you so much for such a wonderful session. I just want to say that as a teacher, I always try to become a friend of my students. I always try to give some time to them. So the beginning of the period and the end of the class is always, talking with the students. Always.
That is very important. That is
So that makes the class lively, and the children are not, they don't feel overburdened also with the subject. So
Right.
that makes them feel comfortable with me. And I think that is one of the aim of any teacher.
Yes, we need to actually address the problem these children are facing through, and we need to like give them a platform at least to open up, because as teachers, when we start teaching, we think the child is interrupting the class, but it's not an interruption, because whatever is left behind unaddressed can create damage to the understanding of the child.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
ma'am.
Anyone else?
Sir is there, sir.
I suppose he's there, but
Yeah, sir is
yes,
there.
sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
So thank you very much, Sunita ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
It was wonderful to see. I was listening patiently. So many things, so many tips, so many points you have given. And the one thing is that I don't know whether the teacher has seen this thing or not. In the entire presentation, you were smiling. So this is the one thing that as a teacher we should ever remember, that it is also smiling is the best thing. It's the sign of to be healthy. A person who is unhealthy cannot smile.
Right, very true, sir, very true. If we are
So,
we cannot smile.
various points you have given, and really, if our teachers are following all these things or followed some of them, they can be the best teachers, because actually the coming age will be dealing with the mental health only.
Right.
Because we have crossed the physical barriers. Physically, we have a very good doctors, and we have all the treatments, all the things. But because of this technology, and because of this age of internet, and because of the circumstances in which our youth is living, we are proceeding slowly and slowly to the disaster in the field of mental health. And unfortunately, we are having very less persons who can deal with the mental health.
Very true.
We are very lucky. We are very lucky that our teachers are in a very good position. We are very lucky that we are listening to Dr. Sunita Vasisht. But how many people, how many teachers have an access to such type of lectures, such type of programs? There are many teachers who themselves are suffering from mental ill health. So it is the time of the need that such type of sessions, such type of interaction should be conducted with the cross section of the teachers, cross section of the society, with the various category of the teachers, so that the mental health, because whenever we are talking about mental health, so we just think of one thing, "Are ye to pagal is talking about this
Exactly.
madness."
Right, sir.
So this sort of alertness is very much required. So thank you, Madam Sunita Vasisht, such a fantastic lecture, and really we have learned a lot.
Thank you.
Salute to your energy, enthusiasm, and all that you have done. Thank you very much. On behalf of Bharati Vidya Bhavan, I convey my regards and thanks to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I'm really indebted that you have given me this platform, because as I told you, my aim is to address as many teachers as possible, because these are the issues which need to be addressed well in time. Otherwise, what you said is absolutely right. Children are falling prey to digital content, and when is happening, we'll not be able to find out. So this is very important. So thank you for giving me this privilege of interacting with the teachers. And it was a pleasure meeting you. And meeting Suman is always a pleasure, because she, again, as you said, she is always a smiling face in our bio group. So yes.
Your smile is contagious, ma'am. Aapko haste hue dekhe na, we also smile. Yeah, really.
Very difficult for a principal to smile.
Right, sir, right.
Because if the principal is smiling, actually the whole scenario of the school is changed.
Right.
But I have seen many principals, they used to wear a mask that they are principal, they don't want to smile. So the entire environment of the school becomes very tense. That's sir to aaj na kuch gadbad hai, aaj very tense se lag rahe hain. So it is the head of the department, head of the entire school, whose smile, whose attitude, whose enthusiasm, whose energy, whose leadership counts a lot. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, everyone, for being so patient and listening. Thank you, everyone.
May I know Pranita Chatterjee, ma'am, is here? Pranita Chatterjee, ma'am, is here in the meeting? No.
May I
So on behalf of the complete biology fraternity and attendees, I'm really grateful to you, ma'am, for joining us and given us such a wonderful time with you. Thank you for the session, ma'am.
Thank you.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you. Pleasure is all mine.
Great listening. Book madam for the next session.
Okay, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm so
Okay, sir.
overwhelmed. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.